Greetings and welcome to Pop Culture Beasts Halloween Horror Picks. I'm your host Ryan Stockstad, and today we're going to talk about a video nasty that prompted film critic John Kenneth Murr to proclaim, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Forget Mommy Dearest, this proves itself the 1980s most twisted and bizarre cinematic vision of motherhood."
A chilling tale of a young boy and girl, innocent victims, now targets of a frenzied obsession with murder. See the award-winning Night Warning.
Night Warning, 1982. Terrible trailer. Great movie, but a terrible trailer. Terrible title, too. It was originally going to be called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, but the distributor changed it to Night Warning for its release. Neither title makes a lick of sense, but at least Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker is memorable. That bad title is probably at least partially responsible for the film falling into obscurity, which is too bad because the movie's great and it deserves to be better known. Night Warning stars television teen idol Jimmy McNichol, playing the whiniest leading man this side of Luke Skywalker.
It's not all right. Carlson doesn't believe us.
And although McNichol whines a lot, he's really good in this. It makes me wish that he'd had a bigger movie career. As it stands, he made this back-to-back with the carsploitation comedy Smokey Bites the Dust and Gordon Hessler's forgotten, straight-to-cable actioner Escape from Diablo, but not much else.
You're terrific.
You know what we both need is a big cup of coffee. I'm exhausted.
Night Warning co-stars Susan Tyrrell, Bo Svenson, Julia Duffy, Steve Eastin, Marcia Lewis, Britt Leach, and really early Bill Paxton.
Pass the ball, come on. Hey, that's a foul. Foul!
This was Bill Paxton's first horror movie, but his later horror films include TV movie Deadly Lessons, Mortuary, Impulse, Near Dark, Brain Dead, Frailty, and a personal favorite horror movie from the 90s, The Vagrant. It's worth noting that Daryl Hannah and Ali Sheedy both auditioned for the role that went to Julia Duffy. Sheedy and Paxton would appear together the following year in Deadly Lessons, while Hannah would go off in the woods with Joey Pants for the 1983 backwoods slasher, The Final Terror. The story opens on a brutal action sequence where a car loses its brakes while speeding down a canyon road, anticipating the logger truck scene in Final Destination 2 by nearly 20 years. Flash forward 14 years, and we learn that the people in the car were Jimmy McNichol's parents, and that he's been raised by his Aunt Cheryl, played by the wonderfully bonkers Susan Tyrrell. Aunt Cheryl's unnatural obsession with her teenage nephew isn't lost on the film's audience, even if Billy seems completely oblivious.
I am going to be your date tomorrow night. Sorry.
Whatever makes you happy. I'll see you tonight.
You make me happy.
Billy has hopes of landing a basketball scholarship and leaving home for college, but crazy Aunt Cheryl won't hear it.
You're staying here and that's it. You're taking that job.
I'm gonna get that scholarship if I can. I'm going away to school and no one's gonna stop me, not even you.
You've upset me. Go upstairs and lie down and cook your own meal.
Aunt Cheryl will do anything to keep Billy from leaving, even drugging his glass of milk before the big game. things really take a turn on Billy's 17th birthday, when Cheryl first tries to seduce the TV repairman and then stabs the poor guy to death as Billy walks in on them. It makes for a pretty lousy birthday party, that's for sure.
Cheryl, Billy, yoo-hoo!
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Oh my God!
Aunt Cheryl cries self-defense, claiming the repairman tried to rape her.
You buy attempted rape?
No. Do you?
No.
Enter Bo Svenson, playing one of cinema's nastiest asshole cops. He's crude, insensitive, bigoted, mean, and generally just a walking, talking hard-on from the moment we meet him.
Billy, where are your parents?
They're dead.
Let the boy answer.
Well, my aunt's been taking care of me since I was 3.
Just the two of you? In this big old house? That must get awfully lonely.
No. We're good company for each other.
I bet you are.
It turns out that Aunt Cheryl's murder victim had been gay, and that he was dating Billy's basketball coach. All of this triggers a paranoid homosexual panic in Detective Carlson's warped mind, and he quickly concocts a theory that Billy and the repairman were lovers, and that Billy is the real killer.
A man got killed, supposedly by a woman who's claiming attempted rape. The man was a homosexual and an acquaintance of Billy. I have a responsibility to find out whether or not Aunt Cheryl is covering for Billy, and whether or not he's a homosexual too.
That's ridiculous.
Meanwhile, Aunt Cheryl keeps going down to the basement, talking to herself and plotting amongst some kind of mysterious shrine that she keeps for an ex-lover.
Perverts and sluts. They're doing everything they can to take him away from us.
Night Warning is that rare horror movie with 2 villains. You've got poor innocent Billy in the middle of a twisted sexual tug-of-war between incestuous Aunt Cheryl on the one hand and bigoted Detective Carlson on the other. Susan Tyrrell, fresh off Forbidden Zone and with an Academy Award nomination for Fat City, is positively off the rails here. She absolutely steals every scene she's in.
Hi, Margie.
Oh, hi.
What?
Your hair.
Oh.
What did you do?
You like?
Yeah.
I did it myself. I think it makes me look younger.
But Bo Svenson is absolutely despicable as the gay-bashing cop, and he throws himself into the part with abandon. You can tell he's having a lot of fun playing the guy you love to hate.
How does Billy figure into this?
Billy doesn't figure into this, Carlson. I've coached a kid 4 years, and I've watched him become a real good ball player, and I care about him.
I don't doubt that. I suggest you resign. If you don't, chances are you're going to get yourself lynched.
Yeah.
You have a nice afternoon.
Svenson is so good here that he won an Outstanding Achievement Award from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films for his performance. And Night Warning was nominated for Best Low-Budget Film of 1982. The other nominees? The Unseen, Madman, Communion, aka Alice Sweet Alice, and Fear No Evil. Fear No Evil took home the Saturn, but I think they gave it to the wrong movie.
On your outside jumper, stay loose. Helps. And your wrist, keep it limp-like. That shouldn't be too difficult for you.
Night Warning was directed by William Asher, best known as a television director who worked on I Love Lucy, Bewitched, The Twilight Zone, The Patty Duke Show, The Dukes of Hazzard, Gidget, and others. He also directed a bunch of those AIP beach movies with Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello, including Beach Party, Muscle Beach Party, Beach Blanket Bingo, and How to Stuff a Wild Bikini. My favorite is Fireball 500, where they trade in their swimsuits for stock cars.
You've got technique, pal. damn good moves under the basket. Coach Landers teach you those?
Yeah.
Doesn't it bother you that he's a fag?
Come.
Tell me, Billy, are you a fag?
No.
I'm going to ask you again. And keep in mind that it pisses me off when people lie to me. Are you a fag?
You're crazy.
Night Warning was co-written and produced by Stephen Brymer, who later became an entertainment lawyer who repped M. Night Shyamalan and wrote a bunch of screenwriting books, including The Screenwriter's Legal Guide and Clause by Clause.
The only way to get rid of it is plenty of sleep.
It was edited by Ted Nicolau, who had already done the location sound recording on Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the sound effects and editing on Tourist Trap. He'd go on to a busy career writing and directing for Charles Band, making notable cult classics like Dungeon Master and Subspecies.
The victim was a fag. The coach is a fag. And the kid is a fag.
I absolutely fell in love with this movie the first time I saw it, and I'd really like it to find a larger audience. I think it's especially notable for its handling of gay themes and characters. The only characters that espouse anti-gay sentiments are the villains, and it's one of the earliest horror movies I can think of with a positive depiction of a gay character, namely Steve Eastin's portrayal of the high school basketball coach.
Why are you leaving?
Look, man, this is something I'm going to have to fight in my own way, and I just didn't want to be here when I did it.
Carlson came over yesterday. Told my aunt you were gay.
Don't you worry about it, okay?
Night Warning deserves to be recognized as one of the best horror films with obvious or subtextual gay themes, alongside such classics as Fright Night, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, The Lost Boys, Fear No Evil, Sleepaway Camp, Flesh for Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, and Dracula's Daughter.
Do you know that homosexuals are very, very sick? Do you know that, Billy?
Coach Landers is not sick.
I first discovered this movie while attempting to see all 70-plus infamous banned video nasties. And while I still have a bunch to see, I dare say this is one of my favorites. Be sure to watch the episode we did on visiting hours if you want to know more about the so-called video nasties, many of which aren't very nasty at all. Night Warning is one of those movies where the horror elements don't really show up until the final 30 minutes. But the first 60 minutes are so bonkers and entertaining that you won't mind. Much of the film actually feels a little like a John Waters movie. I'm thinking especially of the scenes where the goofy neighbor lady snoops around the house looking for dirt on kooky Aunt Cheryl. I've never actually spoken with John Waters or heard him confirm this in an interview, but he loves this movie. The only way that isn't true is if he just hasn't seen it yet.
You don't want to go back there anyway, Billy. You've learned enough. Besides, it's full of perverts. Stay here with me. I'll teach you things. Ooh.
So if you're looking for a forgotten 80s horror oddity this Halloween that also happens to be fucking awesome, my recommendation is Night Warning, aka Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. As of October 2016, the only official DVD release is the Code Red issue from 2014. Now there's no planned Blu-ray that I'm aware of, and as with many Code Red titles, the disc seems to go in and out of print. You may have to hunt and search around a bit or spend a chunk on a reseller, but it's a great release and worth seeking out. Thanks for watching Pop Culture Beast's Halloween Horror Picks. I'm your host, Ryan Stockstad. Be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe right here on the Pop Culture Beast YouTube channel. Look for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in October, right up through Halloween. Thanks again for watching. Watch horror movies. I'll see you next time.